Welcome into the Junction, where we're trying to make some connections between Ardmorites. I'm Ardmore Leader News Director Michael Dean Smith, and joining us in the Junction this week is Julie Maher. She's the Executive Director of the Ardmore Beautification Council, here to talk to us a little bit about what the ABC is up to and how you can get involved coming up as we get ready for some spring cleaning. Julie, thanks for joining us in the Junction this week.
Thanks for having me.
So I know there's a lot I want to talk about, especially about recycling. You guys do a big bi-monthly recycling here in Ardmore. But just in case anybody's not familiar with the Beautification Council, who are you and kind of what's your goal here in Ardmore?
Oh, thanks for asking. The Ardmore Beautification Council began a long time ago, over 35 years ago. We were beginning to be part of the Chamber of Commerce when they started getting new industry, new people in. They were like, we need to clean up our town. And they started doing that. The Welcome to Ardmore signs were one of their first projects. 12th and Commerce landscaping was one of their first projects. And then thankfully, we had a benefactor, and in 1997, we became a standalone nonprofit organization. So since 1997, we have done numerous landscaping works in Ardmore. We take care of the landscaping downtown. We take care of the landscaping at Central Park, so all the beautiful flowers that are down there, and downtown, we do all of that. We do all of the seasonal decorations. So if you like the eggs coming up for the springtime, for Easter it's coming up, we also do the rockets during this 4th of July area time frame. And then we do a lot of public arts, and most of the murals are ABCs. So, you know, our mission is to create a beautiful community, to encourage people to do, be conscious of the environment, and to help make our city beautiful, because that's what people really like.
So you mentioned people are going to be familiar with a lot of those planters. I think there's tulips in the planters down here in downtown.
That's right.
You had mentioned over on 12th and Commerce as well. So people are at least familiar with some of the work you guys do.
Yes. Hope so.
But how many people are involved? Who is involved, and who are these people that are, you know, getting out, cleaning up, and beautifying the city?
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a board of directors, trustees of the council, and there's about 15 of them now. Local leaders. We're getting a different age group now. We've had some wonderful mentors, wonderful people that have known a lot of history in Ardmore. And we need to honor those people, but we do need younger people too. So when we do cleanups and everything like that, we have local schools that come out. We have wonderful volunteers at our recycling, and they're just average Joes. They're just average people that want to help our community and make sure it's beautiful.
I know in my time here as a reporter in Ardmore, I've met some of the students and some of the volunteers that'll help with those cleanups. And you guys actually just had a cleanup back over the weekend on March 29th. Is that right?
We did. We had a community-wide cleanup, and it was pretty well attended. So about 25 people kind of came and went during that time frame. We had a school group from Jefferson, and shout out to Jefferson Schools. They're doing a great job over there with teaching those children how to volunteer and how to give back to community, which I think is really important. And we're looking forward to doing some additional cleanups. The United States of America turns 250 in 2026, and Ardmore Beautification Council is an affiliate with Keep America Beautiful, which is a nationwide nonprofit organization that focuses on beauty, recycling, and litter cleanup. So we kind of partner with them, and we are our next cleanup will focus on one section of Ardmore, like kind of like our Operation Pride stuff. We're going to do the Northwest or the Northeast or the Southwest or the Southeast, and just focus on that area, their parks, their neighborhoods, and things like that. So be looking for that. Anybody that's out there in radio land or podcast land, we're going to be doing that probably in the summer-ish time. So.
Okay. Yeah. And I do want to talk a little bit more about some of the future events that the Beautification Council is going to be doing. But one thing that I really wanted to talk to you about is the recycling event that you guys do up at Thompson Square. Mm-hmm. This is a bi-monthly thing, the first and third Saturday?
That's correct.
I wish I'd written that down. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that, how long it's been going on, and just what the response has been for that recycling event.
Yeah, this is really a great opportunity for Southern Oklahoma, and we started this about 3.5 years ago, coming up on 4 years. In June, it'll be 4 years that we started this. And Ardmore Beautification Council kind of partnered with a company, and their goal is to help rural communities in the U.S. to recycle. And that's their whole thing, is that large communities have some recycling stuff, but we're kind of missing a missing link out here. And we kind of signed up with them, and we provide the volunteers that help people sort their recycling, because recycling is a little different. It's not easy to do. First of all, you have to have clean recycling typically. You don't want stuff that is messed up. You want to be very specific about what you receive. So in our case, we take plastic number 1 and plastic number 2 and plastic number 1 thermoforms. Plastics are all made differently. So that's why we are very specific in that. And the company that we partner with asked us to separate those items so we can see how much we're getting. Okay. So we know how much is being kept out of the landfill. We know what natural resources are being saved. That kind of effort that people like to see. Mm-hmm. On all plastics, there's a triangle. And inside that triangle, there's a 1 or a 2, 4, 5, 8, 7. Because they're made differently. Mm-hmm. So they're identified like that. Typically, all of your water bottles that you drink, they're 1s. Mm-hmm. Your plastic Coke bottles, 1s. That they're all 1s. They're kind of flimsy feeling. Mm-hmm. So those are all 1s. All of your laundry detergents, your milk jugs, your Fairlife milk, your whatever, they're 2s. And you can very distinctly see a 2. We even have magnifying glasses because some of us can't see very good. So when we're out there, we're like, is this a 1 or a 2? So that's what we collect. Thermoforms are those like clamshells. And those are like your tomato containers, your strawberry containers, your blueberry containers. Some of our local takeout places do have 1s as their takeout containers, like your salads from Chick-fil-A, mm-hmm. like some of the McAllister things. Some of your cups that you get are 1s or 2s. Sometimes it just depends on mm-hmm. what they are. But I save all of mine. I look at everything anymore, and my car is filled, and I just take it to the recycling when it's filled. But anyway, so then we also take aluminum cans, and we take like vegetable soup cans, mm-hmm. and then we take cardboard. And with our society the way it is now, everybody is ordering things, whether it be from Walmart or Amazon or Temu or Old Navy or wherever. You're getting it in your cardboard. Mm-hmm. And though cardboard does break down, it's very slow to break down in the landfill. And so we can go and take that cardboard, and we take it to a local materials recycling facility. And we have they love us because we do it right. So it's not contaminated. And that's one of the things that people don't understand. It's like you don't want contamination, because if you contaminate your stream of recycling, those machines and things that take care of that stuff get bogged down with, like, for instance, if you miss a plastic bag, like any type of those real filmy plastic bags, mm-hmm. it can gum up, for lack of a better term, your recycling conveyors, and then it takes time and effort and costs more, and we don't want this to cost. We want this to be effective and efficient, and unfortunately, we're still working on that kind of end of it. There's a lot of comment about is it efficient? Is it? Well, I don't know, but if you've seen our landfill, if you've gone any place else and seen landfills, you should be cognizant of what you're putting in there, mm-hmm. because our landfill has 9 counties, and it's not small, and everybody needs to be aware of what that is and what's going in there. And I think that if we could do anything, do it. You
Right.
know, be cognizant of your trash. Be cognizant. I'm not saying do everything, but be aware that what you're consuming. And I think that's important for all of us to understand that. And you know, we're here for just a little bit of time, but we can make a big impact.
Sure. Well, and talking about that impact too, you said that you guys kind of track and keep track of how much stuff is being brought in. What kind of impact have these recycling events had on keeping a lot of this recyclable material out of the landfill? Have you guys been able to kind of quantify that?
Yes,
how much?
we have. The company that we join with, they have an app that you can download, and then you can see how much cardboard we've kept out, how much plastics we've kept out. In fact, we also do glass recycling. So glass is very specific. Also, we only recycle bottles and jars. If you have a mirror that's broken, don't recycle it. If you have Pyrex dishes, can't be recycled.
Okay.
If they're made differently. Okay. So we only do bottles and jars. Now, I understand that some people they don't understand that. They don't read the sign, whatever, and they're like, oh, I'll just put that all in there.
Sure.
If you can, don't do that. Just bottles and jars only. I was at a Oklahoma Recycling Association meeting last fall, and there was glass recycling people there. And they're like, we have to import, there's 2 glass places in Oklahoma that manufacture glass jars.
Okay.
And they said, we have to import glass from other states because Oklahoma doesn't have an infrastructure to get glass to us. So very interesting.
Yeah.
But most of all, the interesting part is that when we took our glass recycling, last time we took it, we recycled over 15,000 pounds of glass. And glass is always recyclable. And it doesn't break down in the landfill.
Right.
So our landfill has glass in it that it will be glass until the end of time or whatever. You know what I mean? But what we can do is we can recycle that glass here in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And we did that. Ardmore Beautification Council absorbs that cost to do that, to provide that for the community. And 15,000 pounds.
That's 7.5 tons.
Yes.
That's a couple cars worth of just glass.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. And we would take it. It took us almost 9 months to get that much. So I'm hoping that people will be listening and going, hey, I'm having a party this weekend. I'm just go dump my stuff. And everybody put your bottles in here, or put your pickle jars in there, and we'll take it. Because it's at Thompson Square, just like our other items. It's open 24/7. So you can just drive back there and dump whatever you want. Yes.
Okay.
The other is the first and third Saturdays, like you mentioned previously, and it's all volunteers. It's all volunteer driven. And we're very blessed to have a property owner out there that's a recycler, and he appreciates that we are providing this for our community. And we have great conversations. I would encourage anybody to come out on Saturday morning and just see what we're doing and how we're doing it, and know that it's recycled. It's not in the landfill. It's all recycled and taken to the local recycling facility. And it's just, I would, however, say we love that people come and recycle with us. What I don't like is people just leaving their stuff there, because that's not what we want. We want you to be aware of what's going on. We want people to be there. And that's one of the hard things about recycling, is that people don't understand, and they just leave stuff there, and then they don't learn about what they're doing. We separate stuff, and we show people what you can take and what you can't take, because people think plastic is plastic. It's not.
And that was something actually that I've noticed when I've been to that recycling event up at Thompson Square in the past, was that you do have an army of at least a dozen, maybe more volunteers, and they'll be out there sorting things and kind of explaining too. I think even it was pointed out to me last time I was there that the recyclable number 5s, the big kitty litter bins, weren't part of that. Yeah. That was something I didn't know until visiting with the Beautification Council's recycling thing. So there are going to be people to help during that
Yes.
drop-off
Yeah.
event to kind of educate people on how they can sort things out at their house as well.
In fact, I'm glad you brought that up because when we see fives now, because they're very prevalent too, a lot of your cottage cheese or sour cream, kitty or whatever, we take those and recycle those at another facility.
Oh, okay.
So we're kind of like, we need to take care of this too.
Sure.
So if we see those, we will grab them from you too, so.
Well, we're talking with Julie Maher. She's the executive director of the Ardmore Beautification Council, talking primarily about that recycling event up at Thompson Square on the first and third Saturday of each month. But we also talked a little bit about a cleanup event they had back in March. And I want to ask you, and just in this last minute or so, Julie, what are some other future events that people might want to keep on the lookout for ABC coming up soon?
Oh, yeah. So in May, on May 3rd, we will have our Earth First Expo. This is a 28-year annual event that ABC puts on with our local partners, Bank First, Valero, OG&E, KICM Radio. This year, we're going to have some help from Citizens Bank. It's going to be geared toward the environment, toward gardening, toward spring feelings and all that kind of stuff. Also with recycling. So we do the first and third Saturdays with our typical plastics, cardboard, aluminum cans, tin cans, glass. This time on May 3rd, we're also making that into a shred day. So if you have shred, tax season is coming up, so don't forget, get rid of your old stuff, bring it to us, we'll shred it. Also, electronics recycling. Anything that plugs in or has a battery, we will take, including household batteries. So if you have C, D, A, AAA, AA, whatever, we will take those batteries also. Big event. Usually our truck is filled. It's great. If you have electronics, bring it out. Anything that plugs in or has a battery. We're also taking tires. We've partnered with Sword for many years, Southern Oklahoma Regional Disposal, which is just east of Ardmore. And those guys have come out and taken tires. No rims, please, but just tires. No tractor tires. If you're in agriculture, don't bring your tires. But anything else, bring your tires. And they are so helpful. And they are, top-notch volunteers, top-notch entity out there. Great guys to hang out with and visit with and stuff like that. So we'll have not only those extra kind of recycling, but it will also have our regular, because that's the first Saturday in May. So first Saturday in May, come out to Thompson Square. We're going to be there from 9 to 1 this year. So you'll have some extra time to recycle. You'll be able to see all the gardening issues and the different kind of local entities that are going to be there giving away and selling and everything like that. Oh, in fact, the Oklahoma Native Plant Network is going to be there, and they're going to be selling native Oklahoma pollinator plants. So if you're interested in gardening and providing something for our pollinators, come out and see what's going on.
Sounds like May 13 to be a busy day.
That's right. And also, we're also having our garden tour. This is the first time I've been able to say that we are going to have a garden tour this year on June the 8th. So that will be out on social media pretty soon, and you'll see all the beautiful gardens around Ardmore.
Speaking of social media, real quick, what's a easy way people can find Ardmore Beautification Council online?
Okay. We're at keepardmorebeautiful.org, and then we have a presence on Facebook. And we have I'm not a great social media person, but we do have some information on Earth First Expo on Facebook and on Instagram. So, excellent. Yeah.
All right. Well, Julie Maher, Executive Director of the Ardmore Beautification Council, thanks for stopping by the Junction this week and tell us a bit about some of the beautification options for Ardmorites coming up soon.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You're listening to this podcast, and so are a lot of other people in Southern Oklahoma. Ardmore Leader is about one thing: local. Local news, local events, and local business. So don't just buy another ad. Invest in your business. 319-9688 or visit ardmoreleader.com. Work with Ardmore Leader today, and let's find new ways to tell your story to a local audience.
Quality Printing in Marietta can't give you a single reason to keep your business local, because there are just too many reasons. From turnaround times you need to the personalized service you want, Quality Printing in Marietta can do something those online services can't. We can listen to your needs. Quality Printing in Marietta, 276-3255, or visit qualityprintingok.com.